So, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for the first official meeting of the Agora Speakers Madrid Club. As most of you know, Agora Speakers is an international organization that's devoted to helping people develop their public speaking and leadership skills, and we intend to help the maximum amount of people possible. So the first thing I would like to ask you to do is to turn off your mobile phones, because you know that Murph is watching, apart from whomever is watching us on YouTube. And yeah, we don't want a call in the middle of the speech. So having said that, we're going to start the meeting. Unfortunately, I cannot introduce the guests who are remotely connected, but they're going to show up at some point.
To everybody. So I'm going to read a timekeeper today, and you know it's very simple to read a timekeeper. I only have to do is to show these cards in order to give a visual aid to the speaker and to help with the organization of the speech. If the time of the speaker is good, I'm going to show this green card. 30 seconds after this card, coming later this card, and if the speaker continues talking, I'm going to clap in order to finish the talk. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. And now we're going to connect to our...
The word of the day for today is grammarian I've chosen because of Agora having its inaugural meeting in Madrid today. The word is enterprise. And as a noun, it means a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. In a sentence, Agora Speakers International is the enterprise that brings to fruition the greatness of those dedicated to communication and leadership development. It can also be used as an adjective in the form enterprising, and that means having or showing initiative and resourcefulness. In a sentence, today we are experiencing the greatness of common effort brought together by enterprising entrepreneurs. And as grammarian, I'll be counting the uses of the...
So I'm going to put the word of the day both here, let's see if it works, and also here, so the speaker can see it. Enterprise and pressing. Remember, it has to be in context. You want to drop it out. Moving on, we have the thought of the day. And the thought of the day is going to be delivered by Helen, and she's based in the UK, so let's see if it works. Helen, are you there? Okay, let's move on. And then we'll try to get Helen later. So now I'm going to go on.
Good evening all, and I think it is quite a unique opportunity, the one that we're participating in today. Quite an adventure and an endeavor, I'd say, for all the different ramifications. If you allow me, I will try to find the message in which the objectives, I lost it, in which the objectives of the first speech are supposed to be outlined. And that is, the learning objectives of the speech number 1 that we'll hear shortly is to discover your own personal speaking style, to learn about your main strengths and weaknesses, to learn to open up in front of an audience and share personal details. I don't know how you're going to do that, Eric. Learn to control your nervousness, which tends to be the biggest challenge for the first-timers, and learn to prepare for a speech. So without much further ado, I'd like Eric to come and step and tell us about himself.
So welcome on stage, Eric David with Who Am I? Who are you, Eric? Come here and tell us. Because they don't really know you.
Who are you? Ruben. Who are you, Richard? And you, who are you? And who am I?
Eric.
That's supposed to be my name, right? But do you really know who you are? Do you really know who you are? Do you really know who you are? And do you really know who am I? Or do I really know who am I? I couldn't tell you anything. Because in fact, I really do not know who am I. It's been a problem for the past years now. I've been questioning myself and been asking myself, who in the world am I? I'm in this world and yet I do not know who am I. It's like as if I'm going through a road and suddenly I found myself on a fork. I think I'd rather do it this way. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You remember that? Right? When we were kids, we used to do that. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, which is the best way to go? To the left or to my right? Let me think about it. Yet, I wanted to go to the left. It seems that there are more obstacles that I have to go through if I go to my left. But there are even more if I go to my right. So I said to myself, okay, why do I have to punish myself thinking on where to go, whether to my left or to my right? So I said to myself, I might as well be very conventional about this and be orthodox and just answer the question simply. Well, definitely I know who I am. And I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a guru. I'm nobody. I'm just a simple individual. And it occurred to me what Confucius said one time. Life is so simple. But people or men make it complicated. So why will I complicate myself? So I said, okay, let me go through the easy road. I'm Eric. That's my full name. That's what my mom and my father gave me, I hope. And I've been living in this world for the past how many years? I don't have to tell you. You don't really have to know. You don't really have to know. And I've gone through a lot of things. I went to school, my elementary school, and that's where I tried to find my way. So I studied and studied and studied. I joined the National Dance Company. I became a professional dancer. I danced for the Philippines to promote Philippine culture, Philippine dances and music, etc., etc. I went through a lot of things in my life. But even so, I still can't answer that question. Who am I? I've lived here in Spain for the past 24 years. So last year, I had this problem. I was found to have a heart problem. So I had to undergo a multiple bypass operation. And while in the process of waiting for my operation, I had to go deeper and deeper and deeper into myself. I learned how to cut in a click of a finger. You don't have to go anywhere. I could just be anywhere. And somewhere out there, somebody could decide my fate in life. until here. We've got to go. But I went through the process, so I'm here, I'm alive. Very much alive. And I could tell you now, where am I? My name is Eric. In the different area.
Thank you so much, Eric. Now we have 2 minutes. On your tables you'll see a feedback form. So we can use this time to, yeah, exactly that one. You can, apart from the evaluation that Tanya is going to give you, you can give. And let's move on to our first speaker. Actually, this is going to be a smaller meeting, a shorter meeting, because it's sort of a demo session for everyone. So, unlike the usual meeting where I usually have like 3 speakers and there are a lot of hot questions, here we are only going to have 1 speech and only 3 hot questions. And our first speaker is going to be Agustín Millán. But before that, we'll move to the hot question section. And it is going to be delivered by Richard Morley. And I want to call Agustín, who's also going to be his evaluator. So Agustín, can you come up here and tell us about the purpose of the hot question section and
to improve our communication skills. But in everyday life, very often we have to face unexpected questions. So we need also to be able to react quickly, and this part is to improve our impromptu species. The conductor, Richard, yes, you will pick someone, and he will ask. No, we don't know why, and the volunteer have to make a.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an organization which will teach you how, if you can't already do it, to communicate. But there are some things in life which are a little more difficult to communicate than others. Sometimes you have to
speak to somebody who is going through a bad part of their life. Or maybe you are going through a bad part of your life and you are trying to hide it. So I have 3 questions here, which is basically based on that type of thing. So, I made a friend briefly. Victor, come here. Albert Einstein said,
if I met somebody who were going through a difficult period in his or her life, what I would say is think very clearly about what's important and about what is not important. And what is not important should be momentarily left apart. And for the moment, focus on what is important. There are many things which are fastidious, complicated, which are obstacles in everything we do. So, of course, we've got to momentarily just not think about these things. So what I would say to this person is, just pick up your bicycle, be a bit entrepreneurial, and focus only on what's concrete, what is obvious, what is clear, what you have, and build up on that. And for the moment, think. I'm not going to say don't think, but think about what at this moment you can handle, which is what you can actually do. And the rest will sort itself out, or there will be another moment to discuss it, to reflect on it, or to...
So a couple of lady, would you like to come up and speak to us?
Sorry?
Would you like to speak?
No.
No? Then you thought you were going to get away with it. Should be interesting for you. If a friend or a colleague has a serious flaw in their character, something is not right about them, how would you tell that person how to correct that problem without them hating you?
Okay, well, that's a very interesting question, because I think that in our daily lives we all deal with this kind of situation. Maybe among our families it's because at the end you have to go every day. You cannot skip your work. And maybe there is a person on our teams who maybe has a very thing that he or she should manage to correct. Well, it happened to me recently, something like this. It was, well, one girl that is very young in our team, and is the typical profile of person who really wants to improve herself. So at the end we took the decision, we spoke with the team, and we took the decision of telling her, but not in front of all the rest of the people, but apart. And she understood that, and we think really that it's going to help her in the near future.
Really? This might be true, I don't know. Sometime in the past, you broke a promise you had made to a friend. Now, wishing to make amends, how would you get that friend to trust you again?
Well, I never broke a promise, so this question actually doesn't apply to me. But just in case I ever broke a promise, how would I be friends again? It's very difficult, actually, Richard, to become friends again with a person actually you lose your trust in. I don't know how to answer right to this question. It's very difficult, but I would just try to. But to be honest, if this happens to me, if someone of my friends break a promise, I think I would never be friends again. So I cannot answer properly your question, actually.
So, you're not going to keep friends for long. I mean, it's like when someone here says, I'll meet you at 7 o'clock. Promise broken every time.
Alex, we have Kevin. We have Kevin now. Okay, so we're going to go back to our thought of the day. We apparently have Helen now. Helen is in the UK. Hello, Helen. Let's see if we can get her. Can you? Helen, can you hear us?
I can hear you, I don't see you anymore.
Okay. But please, Alex, introduce her thought of the day. Helen is going to deliver the thought of the day. Sorry for all the live problems. This is the first test of virtual participation with people all over the world. We had got David from Canada before, now we got Alan from the UK. Hopefully we're going to get Koka from India and Daniel Paul from Thailand. But let's move on. Helen, you're live, so the thought of the day. A round of applause for Helen, please. Let's see if we can fix that. Yeah? Let's move on. Helen, you're live, so the thought of the day. A round of applause for Helen.
Does it work?
Yes, it's working, Helen. Just go ahead.
Okay, the thought of the day on the occasion of our it's shouting here. The next time it will work. Hello? Is for another day.
Okay, we lost Helen again, unfortunately. So we're going to move with the evaluation section of the meeting, and the first evaluator is going to be Sanya Zelik, who's going to evaluate Eric's speech. So, Sanya?
Okay, so here we go. Eric. I will start with the evaluation of the speech of Eric. I have to be honest, I've heard Eric speak before, so this is not the first time. And it was unusual to see him do what we used to call an icebreaker or a first speech. So I was trying to see it with a distanced eyes. I very, very much liked your opening. I really appreciate it. Meeting is the place where you would go and start wondering, inside and digging inside yourself as to who you are. So I think you really got us rolling on there, and you got us by surprise. Having said so, the moment you did so, you set the standard about this high. And when you start this high, it's kind of difficult to maintain that level. So I do have a big comment for you. Please, next time, Eric, speak up. I'm I've got a cold and I'm not hearing properly, to be honest. But there were parts of the speech where I was really struggling a little bit. Maybe the acoustics in the room is not ideal. However, if it's not ideal, project, yeah, and then even maybe move. You did move at the beginning, but then later on you kind of stayed back here. But it's speaking up. I know you have a voice. You did vocal variety. What I missed was the speaking up. I like the funny bit at the beginning with the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because I think you brought laughter to all of us. Your body language in general, your eye contact, your smile, your sincereness, your straightforwardness, your closeness to your human approach and speaking about your family. I think that all of us, all of that, made you like, who am I? Then the rest, then you go on to eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then we end up on an operation surgery table. It's emotional, it's kind of taking me to and fro, and I'm not sure what to cling on to. So maybe if you could just kind of try to balance it out. It was I think it's quite a powerful speech, and you left us with a couple of real highlights on who you are. What I did say today was a kind of philosophical side of you, so congrats.
Thank you, Sanya. And moving on, we have the evaluation of the table. Questions? Yes. I learned that. So I will stay in the other question section.
Usually there are two kinds of questions. Some people make crazy today. You have chosen 3 questions involving problems in personal relationships. Problems that more or less all of us someday can have. So for me it's a very good election. For the first question, you have used a quote from Einstein to introduce the question. And I was expecting that you will use another quote for the second and for the third. No, but no. Maybe if you did that another way, another time, maybe you can choose a quote for every question. For me, it's very difficult because I think all you and all 3 speakers are very good speakers. You have delivered a very good, important speech, but I will try to give you some tips. You can take some seconds to think, but your speech was, for me, was very good. The only thing, maybe you can sometimes speak with a slow pace, because you speak it very fast, or you minute or minute and a half. I don't know. The second one, Patricia, you are very smart. You're very smart because you use a trick that is to elaborate the question. Yes. You elaborate the question, you describe the problem, and so you can have 20 or 30 seconds to think and to think very well, in my opinion. Maybe a tip I feel that you are sometimes quite rigid. Maybe you can relax and move in a natural way. And the last one, Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben. Very good speech on a more natural pose.
That was natural for me today.
Then?
That was natural for me today.
Why is that all for you? For me, congratulations for Richard and all three of you.
Thank you, Agustin. And now we're moving on to the final section of the meeting, of this first session, and we're going to hear the report from Carlos with the timer. Let's see.
Without taking into account the problems with the audio, the video, and so on, the meeting was very good. Helen, David, 1 minute 05, correct. Eric, David, sharp, 6 minutes. Sharp, very interesting your topic. I'm very interested in your lecture. Agustin, in the presentation of the room, first speaker, I didn't know your name. Victor. Victor, 1 minute, 1 minute 5 seconds, 1 minute 30, 1 minute 2 seconds. Inside the time. And the whole group, 6 minutes 40, less than 8 minutes. So sorry. Next time, quotes, please. Sanya, almost sharp, 3 minutes 3 seconds, and Agustin, almost sharp, 4 minutes 2 seconds. And that's it. Thank you very much.
And now we have to hear from our grammarian, David. Let's see if we can get him. Hi, David.
Hello.
Go ahead with your report. I hope you didn't count the ums, nums, and all sorts of runs and sounds we made during the problems with the video.
Were you connecting to me there, Alex?
Yeah, you're like...
Yes.
I'm having some sound difficulties right now. Okay, for the grammarian's report, I did not hear the use of the word of the day. It may have been used, but our technologies between two, particularly and However, I'd like to point out that the last speaker, I guess that's Agustin. I can hear a very heavy Spanish accent in the English, so there is definitely a challenge for Agustin to be able to speak English without using a filler word. And it's encouraging to see that somebody's getting up there and doing it anyway. Very often, filler words are an expression of I'm making an effort to communicate. And gradually that will diminish. I noticed one particular thing from a grammatical perspective that I really liked, and I guess that was Sanya, with even the hand gestures to go with it, using the words an emotional to and fro. And I really, really like that because it...
Thank you a lot for joining us today. It's been quite a challenge, I know. And for the last floor of the meeting, we have again Sanya doing the general evaluation. I really hope you're not too harsh on us. Sanya!
Alright. I assume that it is only in this first meeting that I will have this sort of protagonism. Yeah? This is a rotating post. So what I would like to say is I believe that we should all feel very privileged at having or participating at the first meeting of this new association, which I think is going to bring a lot of use and a lot of good things to many people in the world. So I would say a big congratulations to Alex and to that the interconnectivity provides with people in other continents and with other points of view is so it's so enriching. And I'm repeating myself. I think we really should make whatever it takes to make it work, because that will bring an additional value that I think is very hard to find in other environments, lest it is a very specific international corporate environment. So I think it is a very big value added. As for the meeting itself, the structure of the meeting is fairly familiar, and I think it is a structure that can work. Now that is fine. But it's a structure that works, and that's the important bit. It works. It will be fine-tuned over time. And again, maybe with the input from people from other continents and other countries, we'll see where that takes us. It may take us somewhere that we haven't thought of yet. So I like the presentation. I like Augustine's introduction. I liked Richard's. Well, we did speak about the first presentation and the feedback, so I wouldn't like to go back to that. What I would like to say is maybe the hot topics is, I think in this particular meeting we witnessed one of those, sorry for the mumbling, we witnessed one of those rare coincidences in life, and that is that we had a philosophical speech from Eric, starting with a question like who we are, and then we went on to actually fairly philosophical questions that relate to trust among people, to effectively communicating something which is not easy, like a flaw with a person that can be a co-worker. I'm really interested to see how this will work out. The responses of the people I found, of the people, participants, I found very interesting as well, because your name was written, Lorenzo, no?
Victor.
Victor, sorry. The question was not even finished and you started replying. Good. Good, because very often in real life, I know you had a different opinion on that, but very often in real life, you do not have the privilege of thinking 10, 15 or 20 seconds what you're going to reply. You're being asked and you have to reply spot on, that's it. That's it, bottom line. You did a very nice show. Actually, I think, in addition to what you said, I liked that you gave a real example. And it would have been nice if actually, you left us all a little bit intrigued. I would have liked, if you were comfortable and you said, no, that's it. No, fair enough. I think we need to be able to speak up. And this is an environment where we're supposed to feel comfortable. This is a friendly environment where we're supposed to learn. So we have to be comfortable saying no. Today, yes, tomorrow, no. Tomorrow, I don't know, the day after. So, I think it's important to be able to say no. And Ruben, your reply was interesting because it took you a while to get to the bottom of the question, which is trust. And I think you found an interesting way of getting out of that, of the compromising situation that you were being led into. So, I thought that was a very interesting reply. And I think that everybody actually did very, very well in the circles. Timer, great, brilliant, perfect. Just, you put everything in perspective. You were very attentive all the time, so I think that you did a good job, obviously, in the UK. So overall, my personal, I will finish this on a personal note, my overall personal impression of this first meeting is that this is a very promising enterprise, and I think we should feel privileged of contributing to shaping it into something that will bring a lot of value to people in many countries. Thank you.
We'll try to get Koka Prasad now from India. I think he's calling. Let's see if he can chime in and share. So, how did you find our meeting? How did you find the whole thing?
Lovely, just great. We just concluded our meeting this evening, and this is my second meeting at Agora Speakers International.
So how are things going in India?
So far so good, Alex. We are going to have another corporate club opening up shortly. That will be on the 7th of December. And
any thoughts you want to share with us?
Go ahead.
Any thoughts you want to share with us? Because we have to move on to the next session, the Spanish one.
Yeah, so far the educational program of Agora Speakers International was... yeah, thank you so much, Alex.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this concludes the first session. Today we're going to have two sessions. This is the English session. This concludes the first part. And after a short break, maybe 10 minutes, we're going to move to the Spanish session. Well, I think most of you will feel much more comfortable. So let's have a short break now, and we'll continue in 10 minutes.
Sí, sí, no. Y es que me ha dicho que no podía. Yo no me enteraba, estaba preparado con un montón de... Ya. Es que me ha estado mandando cosas.